Hi, I'm Tracy Marshall. Welcome to my video called Tracy Gets Busted Wearing Pantyhose. I'm filming this on Tuesday afternoon, October 21st. You know, as of yesterday, Monday, I had 5 vacation days left in the year, and I decided to go ahead and use one of them today. And this morning I couldn't do a video. I had to go to the bank. I had a meeting with my broker. So I'm filming this video in the afternoon. And like I said, it's called Tracy Gets Busted Wearing Pantyhose. And this is the 3rd installment in my series, my history of wearing pantyhose and cross-dressing. It's the 3rd installment, and like I said in previous videos, when I was back, well, I wore pantyhose for years, but once when I was in school, I stuck my mom's pantyhose out secretly and wore them. I didn't wear them publicly. I did it in secret. And because I didn't want to get busted, caught, and if the kids at school had found out about it, they'd made my life a living hell. So it was something I did in secret. But by my senior year in high school, I planned that when I'm out of school, I'm going to wear pantyhose a bit more openly. And my plan was to, after I got out of school, after I graduated high school, and I graduated in '93, I was going to wear pantyhose and shorts and hang out in the woods on the trails behind my house. And I'm at those trails right now. And and I did that. I started doing that after I graduated high school in '93. I know I've been over this before. And so yeah, I went down these trails, although they looked differently back then. Same trails. And I wore pantyhose and I wore pantyhose with shorts. I didn't actually start cross-dressing until '96. But yeah, I started doing that in '93. I would come on these trails at first, for the first few years wearing shorts and pantyhose. Just kind of hanging out, just kind of chilling out. And just like now, you see I'm wearing coffee pantyhose. I apologize for the shoes, but it's muddy down here. I didn't want to wear my sandals or a better pair of shoes, so I wore some old shoes, old worn out shoes. Well, so yeah, I started wearing shorts and pantyhose on these trails, just kind of hanging out, chilling in the early '90s. And these are the same woods, same trails. And see, when I got out of school in '93, for several years after I was out of school, I was chronically unemployed. I had trouble holding on to a job. And I could get jobs, but I didn't hold them very long. I think the longest I ever had one back then was about a year. But I was either unemployed or doing odd jobs or something for a number of years. It wasn't until around 2004 that I gained steady employment. I became steadily employed, and I have been for well over 20 years now. But no, I was one of those chronically unemployed people when I was younger. But so I had a lot of spare time to come down here on these trails in shorts and pantyhose. And anyway, by the way, and I did, like I said, I did become employed. I was employed consistently from 2004 onward, and You know, I actually started working as a mailman in 2010. I'm not going to go into what I was doing before because it would take too much time to talk about. But when I became a mailman in 2010, obviously I saved money. It was a good job. And in 2017, you know, the lot next to my childhood home, next to my mom and dad's house, went up for sale. And in 2017, I bought a strip of that land. And 2018, I moved a trailer, which was my trailer, which was at a different location then. I had it moved to the location next door to my mom and dad. So I live, since 2018, I lived at a location next door to my childhood home. And for about 7.5 years. So that's why I can come down on these same trails now, and that I was on them, walked on in shorts and pantyhose in my younger years, and tell these stories. Yeah, I've lived next to my childhood home for about 7.5 years now. And so, like I said, going back to the early 90s, I started doing this in 93. Coming down here, dressed in... How do y'all like my shorts? Comment and tell me if you like my shorts. They're like little Hooters girl shorts. You see that? Hooters girl shorts and coffee pantyhose. Yeah, but anyway, I started coming down here on these trails in 93 in shorts and pantyhose. Just chilling out. I wasn't going in public places. I would just hang out down here on these trails. Well, and for the first year, nobody saw me doing that. But that changed in September of 94. You know, I was unemployed at the time. I had spare time on my hands. And, well, this one Saturday afternoon, it was a cloudy, overcast day. As a matter of fact, it poured rain later that night. I snuck out a pair of my mom's leg shear energy pantyhose, queen size. The color was taupe, and I put them on with a pair of blue shorts and a pair of Nikes that were black and blue and white. Nike, low tops. And I had on the Simpsons t-shirt. If you remember the TV show The Simpsons, which is a show that still comes on to this day, I think. I had a Simpsons t-shirt.